Little Meech betrayed his father, Big Meech, by spending every single dollar before his father even came home. Okay, so his father came home around October of 2024, 2 years before he was supposed to come home. He did get a reduction of about 5 years, just through natural law changes and everything. He was supposed to come out like 2030 at first, or 2032, and they reduced it to 2026. But then, we have this weird thing where he came home 2 years earlier than that. Okay, but that's a whole nother thing, right? So why did this whole thing happen with 50? Well, Tony Yayo gave his reaction on Vlad. He says, we went down to see Big Meech and Little Meech after doing all them shows in Vegas, and everything was good. We were talking about future business, future ventures. 50 and him got along. And we were in the backyard with Little Meech, just me and Murder, and we were talking about Little Baby stopping by, and she just, he couldn't believe that Little Baby came by and was like, didn't give his dad $1. Why would Little Baby have to give Big Meech $1? What does he owe him? Nothing. He owes him really nothing, because Little Baby is too young to have benefited from Big Meech being home. I think what he was going to do, he was going to show up at the concert real quick, That was going to be his give back, right? And you know what? He's not going to sign any contracts for that concert if he's going to stop through. And they turned it into this big thing, and I think a lot of artists felt a little like, oh, these guys are really like taking advantage of this. We'll get to that in a second. So Little Meech thinks that Little Meech and Big Meech, that's the mentality. You can see where they're at. They thought 50 Cent was supposed to drop a bag too. But 50 Cent just made Little Meech $5 million, right? And I'm sure he made Big Meech another $1 million or $2 million or $5 million, whatever. There has to be something worked out for his life rights, right? And residuals from it. So he's making something. He's not making as much as the actors. Maybe he made $500,000, let's say, okay? That's gone because that's going to the baby mom, right? So Big Meech is out here thirsty. And instead of being patient, he was thinking, everyone's going to come home and give me money. 50 Cent came with nothing because they're doing business together. There's no reason he should give him a bag. But Rick Ross came with a bag and a watch, most likely. And Rick Ross probably owes that to him because he gave him nothing from BMF. Think what you want. He gave him nothing from the song BMF. And he made a lot of money from that song. But he probably didn't give him $1. Just like Larry Hoover's people had to press Rick Ross for money. So anyways, none of the BMF members came by and dropped him a bag. Some of them have been home for a long time, right? And they would owe Big Meech a lot of money, right? Because they all benefited from it. Yeah, they all went to jail, but they all benefited from Big Meech. And they should have a bag since they were home first. Nobody had any money for Big Meech, and that should tell you a lot. Those are the people that should have came through. He should have enough relationships where people have money. But, he's really most disappointed in his son wearing chrome heart jeans for $5,000 a pair of jeans, $500,000 chains, Lambo trucks. You're just spending money like he has made $50 million. Spending money like Future and them and Young Thug and Little Baby, trying to keep up with all of them when he doesn't got it like that yet. He's supposed to be building a career path to having longevity and acting, but he didn't do that. So this left Big Meech more susceptible to listening to Rick Ross, who was like, yo, you don't need 50, man. You got your own. It's your story. Do a movie. Do this. What's he going to do? Take you to court? And Big Meech listened to him. Got rid of Tammy because Tammy was in business with 50 Cent. And said, you know what? I don't need you anymore. It's bad for the brand. Plus, he wasn't really talking to her as much, probably because he's home with his baby mom now. So he paroled to. And that's where everything kind of started, because now Tammy, 20 years, doing his bidding, third party, like, cause he's sending her on missions, right? She's gonna be like, nah. And she went to 50 and said, this is what's really going on. He's trying to get away from you. He's trying to do this. So 50's like, oh no, no. And he canceled that by outing the truth. Tammy told him a lot more, and she had recordings and backup, and then 50 felt comfortable going public with it. And it's like, build and destroy. You got to destroy it sometimes, and that's what he did. Now, Little Meech, collateral damage. Big Meech hurt his own son. He's poisoning his own son's mind. He still has a mentality how Big Meech never made any legitimate money, man. Never. Why would you take advice from your dad? Your dad doesn't know anything about the real world. Your dad is out there he knows about the illegal world and getting money fast. When you're getting money fast, you have no respect for money. Even if 50 Cent brought him 500,000, that wouldn't have been enough, because he's like, yo, I made this show. You're driving around in this. He would equate 50 Cent's whole net worth to the show. Look at that mansion he's living in. Look at that studio he built. When he's forgetting he had power and all this other stuff like that would quickly go out the window. So I think the only way to do it is just to end it, Like, this has gotten too sloppy. The Tammy, the Big Meech downfall is a lot more entertaining now. It is, in a way. Like, to see somebody, it's not even like something happened to him. Like, he's doing this to himself. If he had just shut up, nobody would have known about the Cuffy thing. They would know about it, but they wouldn't know about it. Like, that's the whole reason no BMF members are coming by him. There's something funny with his paperwork, They can see the funniness. It's not like point blank, black and white, but it is black and white. It's like, it's not just a plain thing like, yes, sir, there he is. It's like, oh, so Tammy talked to Big Meech, then talked to this person, then talked to that person, and then this person got hemmed up. Yes, it's like that, And there's a lot of redacted paperwork that they refer to, and you just got to, like, use your imagination. Everyone that's blindly defending Big Meech, you have to go do some reading, okay? Go do some reading. This is public information on Pacer, okay? And if you can't make sense of it, I feel bad for you, man. Maybe you need to go back to school or something. I don't know, But 50 Cent's a fair person. I mean, even with G Unit, he gave them all 2 album deals. This is what Tony A was saying. He's like, he's pretty fair. Like, you got to work for your money. He's not giving Yayo. He's not giving anybody just giving them money. They got to work for it. Even Yayo had to release an album and go on tour and all this other stuff in the beginning of his career, and he was in and out of jail. But they made sure he had money. They made sure he worked for it. But he gave everyone 2 album deals when most people were giving 8 album deals and keeping you trapped. And he made sure everybody was a millionaire before they even dropped a group album. 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying. They went on tour. Everybody had $1 million. And then they went in to drop the group album to brand everybody. And then they dropped solo albums. And then he dropped his second album. Think about that. Who does that? Somebody that wants to set their crew up to have their own money and not always have their hand out. But then you get people going around, sitting around saying, what is he doing for me? What is he doing for me lately? People, 50 Cent is pretty adamant, but he doesn't like people with their hand out. They got to be pulling their weight. And that's that. Nobody owes Big Meech anything for being, doing what he did back in the day. He made hundreds of millions of dollars. He could have done for himself, but he blew it. And that's that. That is that. Anyways, smash that like button.